Hey everyone, my name is Josh Bickers. I am making my very first YouTube video. Pretty exciting. So basically, I want to create a channel for me to let out a lot of my experiences and help people that have started their awakening process or have any questions about any kind of spiritual things that are going wrong with them or going on with them. I know there's a lot of channels out there. There's a lot of different people. You know, a lot of them are talking in big fancy words that you can't really understand. And there's some other really good channels out there. But I wanted to make a channel where it's just an everyday person talking to another everyday person and explaining a lot of what's going on with me, and maybe you will relate to it. I'm also going to go over certain topics each week. I'm going to talk about different experiences, and that will lead on to different topics. So just follow along with me for the adventure, I guess. So I'll start with telling you a little bit about myself. Again, my name's Josh, and I am from the United States. I started my awakening process about 2 years ago. Now, my whole life, I'm just a normal guy. You know, I was a normal teenager growing up. I had some spiritual things that popped up, and you know, I never thought that I would be where I am today, pretty much. Now, about 2 years ago, I was at work. It was just a regular old day. I think it was a Wednesday or something. Went to work. I had a job where I just sat down. That's all I did all day is I sat down, I wired electrical panels, didn't do much. So what we did is we had our phones and we had our headphones in, and we would watch videos on YouTube or listen to them. And we would listen to music, things like that. So one day I was listening to music, and then I started watching some videos on YouTube, and I started thinking to myself, you know, I really want to learn something. And I didn't know where this was coming from. I had absolutely no clue. So it was probably about 2 hours of just feeling like, you know, I want to learn something. And the word that kept sticking out is knowledge. I just want to learn some more knowledge. I had no clue what I wanted, basically. So I was talking with one of my friends, and I said, you know, I just really want to learn some knowledge. He gave me a couple videos that he said were great videos he wanted me to check out, but I didn't, because I knew that's not what I wanted. So in the confusion, I got back from lunch that day, and in YouTube I just typed in knowledge. That's all I did, and it came up with a bunch of different videos, obviously, and I clicked on one. It was talking about ancient Earth. I think it, you know, was going in just to how humans were brought on to this Earth, or how our souls ended up here on Earth, and things like that. So I watched that. It was very interesting, but I still just knew that's not what I wanted. And it was like, it was almost like when you're real thirsty. It's a hot day, you're out there, and you're working in the yard, and your mouth's real dry, and you know you just want water. You need water, and then you come inside, and then you just, you know, you take a drink, and after that drink, you still feel real thirsty, and you take another drink, another drink, and another drink, and then eventually you feel filled. But for me, I watched that one video, and I just didn't feel like I was fulfilled, basically. I didn't feel like that's what I needed. So I went on watching more videos. I went into watching about giants on Earth. I went was watching about spirits, just things like that. So where I ended up, it was towards the end of the day, I ended up on videos about talking about how good meditation is for you. So, I've tried meditation in the past, maybe 2 years prior to when my awakening happened, and it didn't do much for me. I tried it, it lasted about 10 minutes. Wasn't what I expected or wanted, really. So, anyway, it took me on to some meditation videos, and the more I watched it, the more I was feeling like that's what I needed to be watching. And the key word here is the word feeling. At this point in my life, when I was watching these videos, I had no clue just how much feeling, how important feeling is, and paying attention to your feelings towards things, your intuition, things like that. So I ended up watching a bunch of meditation videos, and my goal was, I said, I'm going to go home after work, I'm going to eat dinner, go, and I'm going to meditate. So I got home, my wife made dinner, I hung out with her for a few, talked with her, and then I told her all about what happened during the day, and I told her, look, I'm going to go meditate. She's obviously, okay, yeah, go meditate, that kind of thing. But she's very open, and she's very supportive in anything that I do. In fact, at this point, in my spiritual journey, she says, you can tell me there's a unicorn in the basement and I'll believe it, because of all the crazy things that have happened and all the validation from my spirit guides, her dad who's passed, things like that. It's amazing, it really is. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So basically, I went in and I meditated. And while I was at work that day, I also told my friend about it. And he told me that he was going to meditate also. So he went in, I went in. I think we meditated around the same time. I forget, I think we set a time that we were going to do it. So all I did was I sat there, took a couple deep breaths, and I just focused on making my mind blank. I didn't know to focus on my breathing or anything. I didn't really pay too much attention to that. So I sat there, and it was maybe 5 minutes. I started to see things moving in my vision, colors, and I think it was blue, midnight blue kind of color, indigo, maybe, things like that. And they were just swirling around, and then all of a sudden I saw an eyeball just looking at me, and it blinked, and I was just, what in the world is that? And it kind of startled me, but I kept my eyes closed and I kept going. And then all of a sudden I saw a big fiery bird, and I had no clue what this bird was at all. And I thought, what in the world was that? So I kept meditating, and I kept seeing colors. I ended up seeing like what looked like a field, and there was a tree line off in the distance, and I just saw the shadows of the trees, and it was nighttime, and I saw the stars and the moon and everything. I still to this day do not know what that vision was. I don't know if it was a past life experience. I'm not quite sure. So basically, I quit meditating. I was very excited about what I just saw, but I had no clue what it was. So I started Googling fiery bird when meditating and things like that, and it came up with absolutely nothing. Then I was Googling colors when you meditate, and then I got into the science part where they're telling me I'm dying and I'm having seizures, and I have something wrong with my brain and things like that, and it started to kind of freak me out. But I just knew, and again, I felt that that wasn't what it was. So I continued research and didn't come up with anything. Went to work the next day, and I told my friend, I said, hey man, I said, when I meditated, well, first I asked him, did you meditate? And he said, yeah, I meditated for a few minutes. And then I was sitting there, and I said, yeah, I did too. It was kind of interesting. And he said, yeah, it was, I didn't really get much from it. I just felt like I couldn't really focus. I said, well, you're not really supposed to be focusing on anything. You're supposed to be just, relaxing and all that. But anyway, we sat there for maybe 5 minutes. I wasn't sure if I wanted to tell him that I saw a big fiery bird and some trees and some colors, things like that. And this is one of my best friends, lifelong friends, so I know he wouldn't have judged me or anything like that. But still, it was weird for me at that point. So he said, actually, there was something weird that happened when I was meditating. He said, I saw this, it looked like a big bird or something. And I said, was it on fire? And he said, yeah. He said it was. And he said, it was so weird. And I said, I saw the same exact thing. And he said, yeah, right. I said, I swear, I swear on everything. Swear to God, all that. And he believed me. Basically, we saw the same exact thing. He didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. We had no clue. So we kind of left it at that. He said he didn't really feel like meditating, and I felt that I couldn't wait to meditate the next day. So I got home that next day, and I ate dinner, didn't talk, didn't do anything. I went straight to the room, started to meditate. In this meditation, I saw, I was meditating, got deep into the meditation, and then all of a sudden, I saw this flash of a memory or something. I didn't know what it was, but my hand was out like this, and at the end of my hand, I saw 3 girls. I was in a room, and there were 3 girls holding my hand, my left hand, and there was a psychic ball sitting on the table, and they were laughing, and they said, stay with us, stay with us. And I came back real fast, and I was, I came to, and I was like, what was that? I have no clue what that was. But I know that wasn't normal. I've never seen anything like that before. I've never had a random thought like that before. So, that being said, I still continued to meditate. I was seeing the swirling circles, and at this of color, and at this point, I really started to like seeing the colors. It was almost a fascination. I loved seeing the colors swirling and everything. It was very cool. And in that meditation, I don't think that I saw anything else. I know I was feeling like chills and things like that throughout my body, things like that, but I don't think I saw anything else. So, and just that alone was, mind blowing. I had no clue what it was. So again, I researched. I couldn't find anything. So eventually, I found, and this was the next day. During the day, I found a forum, and I went on that forum and made a post. First I looked at some posts, and I had to comment on a couple of posts before I could post, so I went through and made some comments, and anyway, I posted on it, just basically explaining everything, the dragon, the little girls, the field, the eyes. I kept seeing eyes looking at me, just one eye, when I was meditating, and they would just pop in, blink a couple times, maybe not blink, but and it was different eyes at times, and then they would disappear. And also, just to let you know, I'm meditating with my eyes closed, not open. So then I posted on the forum. I went to bed that night. The next day, I woke up, and I had a few replies on it. And one of the guys was saying it's all neurons and things in my brain, pretty much, that are firing, and they're making the colors and everything. And even though it made some sense, Um, Again, I felt and I knew that that wasn't what it was. I appreciated him commenting on it and saying what he said. I just knew that wasn't it. There were a couple other people saying, "Yeah, I meditate and I see colors sometimes too. It's perfectly normal." And then there was some people saying that I'm not seeing colors. It's just my imagination, and meditating the wrong way because I shouldn't be seeing anything when I'm meditating, and this and this, and a lot of the negative stuff that you'll get on social media or the internet, pretty much. So at this point, I'm kind of discouraged because I knew that it was more than what that was, and at this point, I was kind of feeling um, not like I'm going crazy because I never felt that way, but I was I felt alone because I had no clue what was actually going on and why I was seeing these things. Um, my whole life, I always felt that I was here for a greater purpose. And I don't mean that in a tooting my own horn kind of thing. I mean that because I've always felt like I can look at things from both sides a lot better than most people. I can look at situations a lot better than people, and I've always just felt that I'm here to do a lot more than what I'm actually doing. So I basically I told my wife that night, told her, look, all this is going on, and she told me, I believe you, but at this point, I really don't know what to tell you because I know nothing about any of that. She gave me the, oh yeah, I mean that's crazy, but what do you think it is? And that and that, and I'm over here clueless. I have no clue. So the next day, I wake up, and in the meantime, I'm still meditating. I'm still seeing colors. I'm sure I saw other things that I'm not recalling right now, and it was a fascination at this point because it was just so cool. And so the next day, I wake up. My my phone was lighting up, and I had an email notification saying that I had someone that sent me a private message on that forum. So I go in thinking, okay, it's gonna be someone else just telling me that what I'm seeing isn't true. So I click on it, I read it, and it's a lady. She she's let me think. She was from Australia. Um, Never talked to her before, anything like that. So she wrote a message saying that basically what I'm seeing is real. She said, don't listen to those people on the forums. They're just they don't know what's going on, so they're just giving you whatever answers they can. She said, what you're seeing is real. Everything that's going on is real, and that she was going to explain everything to me. But she said, first, I need to do some, or learn how to do some grounding and psychic protection, bright light protection. She explained how to do that. And for those of you that don't know, I am going to make a video of how I do that and how I've seen that it works, proof and things like that. But a short version is just envisioning a bubble of bright light protection surrounding you. It's that simple, really, it is. And then grounding is seeing roots coming out of your feet, going down into the ground, and going in deep down into the earth, all the way to the center. Now I have different ways that I do that. It's not just that simple anymore. I kind of have added things, taken out some things. It's really, you really evolve when you're doing it because you see what works, you see what doesn't, you see that you could be doing it or adding different things like that. So we went into detail about how to do grounding, how to do all that, how to do protection, and I started doing it, and I actually started feeling a difference in everything. I started really feeling how I wasn't feeling others' energy. I've had anxiety, I've had things like that, and I still do. So don't think everything's all cured, everything's great, because it's not. But I do have anxiety just where I feel a rush of energy in me. Um, but I did start doing that, and then she started explaining to me about how my chakras work. And she was explaining to me what my chakras do and what colors they are and why I was seeing those colors that I was seeing while I was meditating. She explained to me that those colors were actually my chakras communicating with me. And for those of you that don't know, chakras, you have 7 of them, and they are basically seen as a vortex. It's a little vortex that is down by your private parts, right by your belly button, by your left, right underneath your left rib, your heart, your throat, your brow, and then your crown. You have your root, sacral, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat, brow, crown. And let me just say, all of this sound like crazy to me. Even though I knew everything was real and she was telling the truth, I just, in my rational mind, was thinking, you know, this lady is nuts. And I'm nuts for even believing in and thinking about any of this stuff. And, you know, that's what society has brought us up to believe in, very sadly. Because there's magic in this universe, in this world, and if more people could just see that, it would be a much better place. And more people are seeing it. It's happening a lot more frequently. A lot of people are going through what we call awakenings, you know, getting more spiritual, seeing things for what it is, basically. So we went in, and I, you know, I can talk on this forever. I can talk on this for probably 12 hours if I really wanted to, but I'm trying to shorten it down just to give you a little 30-minute or so introduction of myself, and then we'll go into things further each week, maybe even every other day or something for a little while until I catch up. So basically, we started talking about my chakras. I learned all about those. I learned how to do Reiki healing, energy healing. She taught me how to do every bit of that. The Usui traditional style Reiki, which is the founder of Reiki, the one of the highest Reiki masters to ever live, and things like that. So I learned a lot about the chakra system, learned how to bond. I went through and I did an 8-week process of bonding with each one of my chakras. And it was amazing how that played out. Because with each chakra comes different things. For example, with your root chakra, it's a lot. It deals with a lot of different things. Now, I'm just going to bring up one thing, though. Is one would be being aggressive, anger, things like that. And when I was bonding with it, it opens it up and it cleans it and it processes it. So you feel the different sensations that come along with that. Along with, you feel sensations in that chakra, physical sensations. So basically, when I was doing the root chakra, I felt a lot of anger and things like that. She didn't tell me what to expect. I told her, you know, I'm feeling anger, and she said, well, that's good. That means that it's working, the process is working. That's what you're meant to feel. There were a few times where I was getting a little too angry or had a little bit too much aggression, things like that. And she showed me how to calm it down a little bit, and that worked too. And then my solar plexus deals a lot with self-esteem, things like that. So when I was working on that, I was feeling Um, just like I wasn't able to do the things that I was doing. I was doubting myself a lot. And I asked her about it, and she said, yeah, that's another symptom, and just keep going. It's going to be rough, but you got to get all this through, and everything's going to be great. So I worked through them all. I'm not going to lie, once I made it up towards these chakras, I slacked a little bit. Um, it was an 8-week process. I got really, I get bored really easily. My teacher, mentor, she had a hard time with me trying to keep me on track, but I did, and I had to go back and work on some things because I didn't get them right the first time. So if you do it, if you end up doing anything like that, make sure you do it right the first time, because it's not fun having to go back, especially when all the fun's happening, having to go back to the beginning of everything. So I have about 5 minutes left on what I'm wanting to do with this introduction video. So that being said, all of that happened in about a 2 or 3 month period. I learned, I met my higher self, my all-knowing self, my inner child, my spirit guides. I talked with my grandma. I talked with my father-in-law. Just a lot of things happened. A lot of things that I never thought would ever happen. It was such a crazy experience for me. I never in a million years would have thought anything like that was going to happen. But it did, and I am so thankful that it did. It all started with that meditation. Now, you go down, I mean, it's been 2.5 years now since the initial process has started with me. And, I am still learning a ton. I'm just now starting to open up. This is my first video ever. I don't like talking in front of people. I don't like doing things like what I'm doing now, but I just feel that it is so important that people that are going through what I went through in the beginning have an outlet to go to. That they have someone to help relate to a little bit. Now, not all awakenings are happy and great like mine was. There's some bad awakenings too, where something traumatic happens, or there's something negative attacking the person, and then they awake that way, things like that. But there's a lot of good awakenings. And another thing that's happening is a lot of people are getting their awakening, and when they awaken, they are starting to see things for what they are, but instead of going to the good side and learning about love and positivity and trying to bring the world's vibrations up, they're going a separate way, and they're getting mad and angry because they don't understand what's going on with them, and then they are also seeing what's going on with the world. And we all see what's going on with the world, so I'm going to make a video about that too. That might be my very next video that I make. Who knows? We'll see. But basically, at this point in my life, I am at the point where I do readings for people. I do psychic readings. I can do mediumship readings. Just, anything like that. I don't do tarot cards. I don't do runes. I don't do any of that stuff. I just never found any interest in it. Tarot cards have caught my interest a little bit, but I haven't bought a deck yet. Maybe I will eventually. But it's all in my mind. I do everything through my mind. I like it better that way. It feels a little more pure to me. And I'm not the best at this point. I am very good with my readings. They're usually pinpoint. I get very accurate information and things like that, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning what symbols are which from my guides when they show me. I'm still learning how to interpret certain things. It's a super hard learning process. My main goal in this, or my main purpose in this life, is to be a light worker, to bring light to people, to help heal people. I'm a healer. Um, to try to make a difference in this world and try to help people through whatever they're going through. Um, I'm very good with giving advice, and when I do give advice, it comes from a higher place a lot of the times. Um, I don't realize I'm channeling or anything, but I end up, and it's very good information. But basically, that's all I want to go into now. Um, I do appreciate you watching this, and I am going to come out with a bunch more videos. This is going to be a regular thing, so anyone that's coming across this, and you took the 30-something minutes to watch this, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. And if you're looking for guidance, I really hope that this has helped you in some way, just to kind of understand a little bit that, crazy things do happen, and this is real. I'm a very normal guy. You wouldn't know that I'm talking with my spirit guides and family members and doing readings for people. You would never know that out on the streets. But I am, and I am actually trying to come out with it more, because I think more people need to understand that this is a normal thing. It's very normal. Don't ever feel secluded. Don't ever feel like you're the weirdo, anything like that. There's spiritual churches, spiritualist churches, all kinds of different churches that you can go to and meet like-minded people that can help you through all of this. And either way, you can comment on my video, hit subscribe. I'm going to come out with a bunch of more videos. By the time you see this, I might have a bunch more videos. You never know. So hit subscribe, follow me, comment. I don't know if you can private message on YouTube, but if you can, private message me. I'm going to leave a link with my email on it. If you have any questions about anything, email me. I don't charge for anything. I do ask for a donation. I don't ask. I do accept donations. So if you feel that I've really helped you in the end, you're more than welcome to give me a donation. Anything counts. If you can't afford it, I understand also. I'm just here to help. I really want to help make this world a better place. So any questions at all, just email me. I'll get it. I really appreciate all of you watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And love and light. Thank you.